Now, with those cold temperatures you were talking about, it's a good time to remind people in the region to become a cold weather companion to a local senior, whether that person is a loved one, a neighbor, or maybe even just a stranger. Joining us to talk about that is the owner of Synergy Home Care of Fairfield, Kiley. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Let's talk first and foremost, what is a cold weather companion?
Well, here in Connecticut in the Northeast, we run into a lot of cold weather. Yes. We just saw it. You know, we're in the teens with snow coming. And what our companions, our caregivers do at Synergy Home Care is we go up over and above what we normally do in the cold weather, and we make sure that there's oil in the fuel tank, that the heat is on at the house, that there's plenty of food in the refrigerator for the next several days where people won't be able to get out and go to the grocery store. And probably just as important as everything is that people have their prescriptions filled because they're not going to be able to run out to the drugstore.
Okay, yeah, those are all things that maybe we might not even think about, but that's something that not only you do through your service, but that we should be doing for our neighbors.
What Synergy Home Care is recommending is that everybody become a cold weather companion, whether it be for a loved one, a neighbor, or just somebody you come across in the town you live in, to try to help them out and keep them safe and healthy during these cold snaps.
You know, when we talk about being healthy, there's a lot of a risk for hypothermia in this type of weather, especially if someone's out for a long period of time. What are the signs that we can look for?
Well, nearly half the deaths by hypothermia happen in people over the age of 65. And in Connecticut, we have many, many people that are over the age of 65. So the signs we're going to look for is people being drowsy, not wanting to get up, not wanting to get out of bed, some confusion, people that literally are shivering. It comes right out, and sometimes you will see it just on one side of the body, which is strange and lets you know that it's time to give a doctor a call and warm things up. And what we run into with some of our elderly people in Connecticut is with the high fuel prices, they don't keep their thermostats where they should be, and they're trying to keep the heat around 60, which can lead to hypothermia in an elderly adult.
Wow, yeah, and just 60, you know, that's impressive. How about other maybe winter activities that the elderly should look to avoid or at least ask for help with?
Definitely. We want them to avoid going outside when it's extremely cold. If you need to run an errand, call a friend, a neighbor, a companion to go out and do that for you. And shoveling snow is a big thing. Yeah. We all hear about it all the time. Somebody goes out, oh, they think it's easy, they want to clear out the driveway, and between the cold weather and people not being as young and as healthy as they used to be, it can be very dangerous.
The physical exertion can just be too much. You know, another thing that we want to just mention quickly is that there are more than 5 million people in the U.S. living with Alzheimer's. What are some concerns with that particular group and the elderly people who we see with Alzheimer's when it has to do with this cold weather?
One of the biggest concerns with Alzheimer's, which affects many, many people, half the people over the age of 85 tend to have some form of dementia, and it can affect people at a much younger age. The wild thing is that 60% of those people, 3 out of 5, will tend to wander. Okay. They'll open the door, they'll walk outside. They also may or may not realize what the temperature is. They may not be dressed properly. It's not unusual to find somebody dressed with Alzheimer's in summer clothes in the winter, and if, God forbid, they were to go outside, it could lead to drastic consequences.
All right. Jay, thank you for all these warning signs and things that we should be looking out for. We appreciate it.
Sure, thank you.
All right.